Okay, Paul, tell me something about yourself.
Okay, let's see. My name is Paul Salo. I've been living in Shanghai for 6 years in this city. I came over to China in 1989 originally. I took the Trans-Siberian Railroad from Europe. I was living in Sweden before for a short period of time. I'm originally from San Clemente, California. Let's see. So I'm 46 years old, and what else?
Okay, compare with US. Tell me about the culture, lifestyle, and the social norms while you are living in China.
It's very, there's a lot more going on the street than there is back home. You know, I was just back in San Clemente, and you know, when you walk around at night, like I walked for 20 minutes without seeing a human being, you know, except in a car. You know, here in Shanghai, there's people everywhere, you know, like when I walk around on the street at night, or if I go to the market, or, you know, there's certain places that are very, very crowded, that are uncomfortable, but in general, it's a lot of fun. You know, there's people on the streets gambling. There's people, you know, playing cards. There's old people doing Tai Chi in the parks, and at night there's a lot of dancing in the parks. The older people and also the younger people, they play music and people dance. It's more like it's like a type of social dancing. It's maybe like not exactly like a square dance in the U.S., but it's that kind of feeling. You see that really, really often, especially now because it's fall, so it's warm weather.
Okay, what's the greatest challenge while you are living in Shanghai?
For expats, right?
Yeah.
I think for expats the challenge is there's obviously there's two sides to it. There's your professional life and there's your home life, right? For your professional life, it's you know, learning the culture fast enough that you can get your job done. You know, you can manage people, you can communicate, and what you say is actually what the people hear on the other side. So I think that part there is one of the most challenging parts. It's just simple communication, just explaining what your plan is and helping your team to understand both the concept and also to allow them to repeat back to you their concerns and their feedback, right? It's easy to say something and then get no feedback here and then not get it done, wonder why it didn't get done. So I think that's the communication. For people in their home lives, I think a lot of it is you know, it's like having an emotional, healthy emotional life. You know, it's having friends, it's getting around and meeting plenty of people. It's you know, not being stuck in your room. You know, I think that's a lot of it. Is the challenge is getting out of your room every day, getting to new places. So it helps to have friends. It helps to have Chinese friends. It helps to go somewhere on weekends. You know.
Okay, what should Americans avoid while they are living in Shanghai? And do you have any crazy stories to tell us?
Crazy stories. Like, you know, one of our clients, they had many cats, right? She liked to take care of cats, and she had a big problem with her neighbor would be eating her cats. So she had like 11 cats, and then the neighbor would often eat one of her cats, and she would complain. You know, she'd say, you know, you know, she's an older Shanghainese lady, and she would be complaining that her cat was eaten again. You know, I think your experience in China is always unique. You know, I wouldn't say that you're going to have that experience, but I think that as you come across things, you know, I had one situation where all my mail disappeared for a year in one apartment, and I think it was I kind of narrowed it down to I had a neighbor who was very curious about foreigners, and he wanted to know what I was doing. He wanted to see what I was writing about or what I was receiving. So I think China is well, one of the biggest challenges is the ability to stay flexible, you know, and to roll with China. Because, you know, since I've been here, this place has gone from, you know, right here was just basically desolate, you know, to Class A5, you know, Class A office space. So I think for foreigners, a lot of it is just to be flexible and to keep up with the changes. You know, since I've been here, I can't think about old China. You know, since I came here in '89, I can't. It's like it's new China every day. So for me, it's that's one of the biggest challenges. You know, I go back home and nothing changed in my hometown. It looks exactly the same as when I was in high school. But you know, here every day is different.
Okay, can you describe the home buying and renting process in Shanghai, and how does this affect American expats?
Okay.
What's the average price?
Okay. For foreigners buying real estate or interested in buying real estate in China, the first thing they need to know is they need a residence permit. And a residence permit you get after working in China for 1 year and paying taxes. So after you receive that residence permit, then you can buy a house. And you're allowed to buy one residence currently under Shanghai law. So that allows you to one buy one property. As far as the average price and what would be interesting to foreigners, a lot of the interesting properties are older French concession houses and things like that. That's what we often sell to foreigners, and foreigners then flip the properties. Those properties are really interesting and they're beautiful. That's part of what keeps me in Shanghai is the architecture. So the average price, if you look at Shanghai, say you look at Shanghai as a market, the average price is 25,000 renminbi per square meter, which is about 4,000 US. But if you look at the reality of, like, for example, we're here in Jing'an Temple here, Jing'an State, Jing'an area. Jing'an area, you're talking about closer to 40,000, right? So almost double, almost 7,000 bucks dollars a square meter. So prices are high. As far as the process, it's basically once you get your residence permit, it's basically the same as in the U.S. except for there's a lot more choices and things move a lot faster. So I think with our serious buyers, when they go look at a property, they often have a briefcase with some cash in it, so they can put some kind of a down payment down to secure, the beginning of the conversation and let the landlord know that they're very serious. And then afterwards, if they don't purchase the property, they get that money back. It's not a problem. So I think that's one big difference is in Shanghai, when you find the right place, you look, we show, many places. When you finally find that exact right place, you got to be ready to secure that place. Because if it's a good deal, there's, at least 20 million people here, and things just change hands really fast. So you don't want to make a mistake. So you have to do your research. But once you find out the right thing, you got to jump on it, and I mean jump on it right then.
Okay, when do you want to participate in this opportunity?
Well, I've been doing relocation for over 20 years in Asia, helping people come here, both for friends and for business, which many of them have become my friends, both in Tokyo and also here in Shanghai. For me, I've been on TV quite a bit in Japan and also in China, and it's an experience for me where I get a chance to meet people that I don't know. I had a client, or not a client, I had a friend watch a TV show. A person I didn't know watched the TV show that I was on, and then they could see my personality, and they sent me a book that they thought would be a good book for me from South America, and I thought that was really nice, because TV is a way to reach out to people you don't know, So I think that for me is the biggest reason, and also we want to promote our company, Service China. We really work hard for the expats, and we are expat owned. So we really do our best to, both from our own experience and also with our Chinese staff, negotiating the good prices for them. And we care about expats, and we want to make sure that they stay here and they have a great time in China. If you do China right, it's a great place. If you do China wrong, it can be pretty rough. So we like to help them to have a good experience, and that's basically why I'm in business here. And I'd like to reach out to some more people.